Hi, everybody. I'm Nathaly Salas. We are in the Real Estate Investment Nomad podcast. This is our first episode, and we're super excited to introduce our first guest and friend, Sally Peterson. Just to give you a little background, I want to give you a few fun facts from her and how we became friends online. We haven't met in person yet, but we align on almost every value, I feel, that has to do with international living. And just to give you some information, Sally has lived in 5 countries, traveled to over 45 countries, and you have multiple residences, also citizenships, and you have legally reduced your taxes to the single digits, which is pretty awesome. I want to hear more about that. You own companies in multiple countries as well as bank accounts. So I want to introduce you, Sally, because I think your lifestyle that we see through Instagram and online is amazing. So just give us all the secrets. How do you come behind this? You're from Canada and you decided to just leave Canada and live the life around the world. Will you give us a little background on how everything started?
Well, first, thank you so much, Nathaly, for having me here today. I'm excited to be your first guest. It is great. And yeah, so basically what I do with my company called Global Citizen Life is the lifestyle I've been living for over a decade. And I didn't get into it thinking that I was going to turn it into a business. I was just kind of fed up with things, and life happens and we go through trauma and turmoil and things like that in Canada. But even prior to that, back when I was in high school, so probably about 15 years old, it was Canada. It was probably winter. It was cold and I hate the cold. And I remember saying to my friends back then, I said, I think I've been switched at birth. Fast forward many, many years later, and again, a series of events happened, and I just had kind of the opportunity. And I just said, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm going to leave. I had a house in Costa Rica at the time that was going to be my retirement home. I was thinking, buy it now. So I'm paying off the mortgage in the future. By that time, it'll be done and I'll retire and go down there. But life happens and things don't always work out that way. And so I ended up moving there sooner with my 13-year-old daughter. So I do have experience with leaving with teenagers as well. And that's just how my journey began. And then, yeah, it went from one country to another. And as I was moving from country to country, I started learning more about international real estate, taxes, businesses, corporations, and everything else. And then it wasn't until the pandemic was when I decided to make it a business. Prior to that, people would ask me questions and I would give them the information that I knew. But that kind of turning point to make it a business was when the Canadian government threatened not to give citizens their passport because they were protesting and froze people's bank accounts because they were protesting.